Hello and thank you for watching this impromptu video. As you can see, I'm in my scruff because Sunday I decided to do a little bit of light dusting and cleaning around the kitchen and some baking. So I wasn't prepared for this video, but Brother Rob was downstairs looking for some documents regarding little Clemmy who died in our arms yesterday morning at 6:15, and it was very, very moving and very sad. And the purpose of the video is to share with you what Brother Rob shared with me, a beautiful letter that was sent to me by a lady who'd never known Shimola, a beautiful Westie that I paid full price for along with another 3 little Westies in Ireland back in, it could have been 2003, 2001. And Shimola had half a nose, and obviously on a puppy farm, so we paid all this money for these little dogs to rescue them from a pretty miserable existence, and they did look miserable. But when Shimola came into my life, I didn't realize that then I was mentally ill. As a byproduct from Prozac, it introduced me to bipolar. And Shimola and I had a really amazing friendship. She never left my side. And at the time, I wasn't an enclosed monk. I used to travel a lot running retreats here, there, and all around the world. And Shimola was a joy to come home to. But when I had clients who came here who'd been sexually abused, they found it very difficult to share with a man of their abuse from another man. So Shimola had a special gift. She would go up to my client who was here on a residential 24 hours, and she would stay with that person, rubbing her little head against their leg. And I would say, Shimola, is it yes? And she would say yes. So I'd say to the client, forgive me for asking you this. You can tell me it's none of my business. You can get up, you can walk out. But I have a strong feeling in my heart that you've been sexually abused. And she'd, how did you know? I said, that little dog gave me the affirmation that I needed, because that's her gift. She goes to clients who are suffering real internal torture and trauma. And then the dog would jump onto her lap, and that the client would envelop the animal with so much love, and Shimola wouldn't leave them for as long as they were here. When she crossed over in July 2007, it was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Truly heartbreaking. To have to see her being put down because she had a respiratory condition where her lungs were really collapsing and drowning in her own fluid. And that weekend I was working in Sheffield, and this beautiful lady came up to me and she said, I have seen a visualization of this beautiful little white dog that looks like a Westie, but I'm not sure. And she's half a nose. And I think her name was something to do with Shimmy and she said, it couldn't be Shimola. And I said, yes, it was. And she did have half a nose. Well, she said, this is how she is now in God's kingdom. And I want to show you this beautiful drawing that this lady channeled from Shimola. Oh, sorry. Wrong way round. I do stand corrected. So this is Shimola now as she is in God's kingdom. A beautiful elemental in the presence of God. When I received it, I was inconsolable. And then a week later, I had this lovely letter from a lady who'd been here and who had an affinity with Shimola. But when she discovered she had died, this is what she wrote. Dear Brother Sean, Rob and Ellie, who was Shimola's pal, another Westie. When I awoke, I found myself in an exciting new place. I couldn't believe where I had found myself, for I was free of pain and suffering, but I couldn't understand how I got there. At first I thought that I was back in the woodlands near my home in Storth, back in the woods that I had explored so many times, times that were special with you all. But somehow the colours were brighter and the sky was bluer and everything seemed so much more interesting than anything I had seen there before. There were so many trails and paths to explore, so many exciting smells and hidden places, that I couldn't contain my excitement. I didn't know where to start, so I wriggled and squiggled with excitement. I bounded off as fast as my little legs could carry me, eager to see each nook and cranny and revel in my renewed senses. Slowly, however, in the midst of my play, an uneasiness began to creep over me. Anxiously I looked up, trying to see where you were. I started to feel more fearful. Where were you all? How would I find my way back home? Who would care for me? If I was lost, where would I go? It was then that I noticed a figure watching over me. He must have been there all the time, but in my excitement, I hadn't noticed him before. I saw his simple monk's habit and sandaled feet. He was standing quietly in the woodland glade nearby. He called me over to his side. His voice was so gentle and so calm that I knew instinctively that I had no need to fear this kindly being. So twirling in greeting, somehow I felt that I had known him for a long, long time before. Back in the midst of time I had been loved by him and another being, my Lord the Christ. I bowed my head in awe and reverence. Scooping me up in his strong brown arms, he looked at me with bright, smiling eyes, and laughingly he said, "Hello, my precious little one. I am Saint Francis, the loving guardian of special creatures like you. You are safe with me. We will be together and I will be your new master. You have been a true and loyal friend to the people of Earth. You gave them much fun, laughter and joy. You have taught them many things. You are a brave, courageous spirit with the heart of a lion. Your work on earth is finished, so now you will reap your reward here with me in paradise. Don't be afraid, little friend, for I will take care of you and take you to another place. It will be a place of your dreams and imaginings. It will be everything that you enjoyed on earth and more. So that is where I am now, dear friends. I am happy, safe and at peace, so try not to grieve too much for my passing. You made my time on earth so special that I will always remember your love and care. In another time we will be reunited, then it will be my turn to show you the secret paths and places that I have enjoyed. Until then, trust me to my new friend's care, and know that I am still safe, special, and loved. Yours, Shamola, with a little paw mark and a kiss. And the lady who channeled this message shared this. I hope that this brings you some comfort, Brother Sean. When a dear friend lost Smithy, I wrote a similar story for her. I didn't keep a copy, but wrote this for you on similar lines. After church on Sunday, I took paper and pen and wrote it under the trees in my local park. I asked the angels to help me. I was there in the sunshine enjoying the trees and the grass, and I was there for a few hours. An odd couple walked past with a little dog who looked as I remembered Shamola looked. They walked past me several times, and the little dog watched me very closely as she passed. It was as if Shamola was saying, "Get the writing right. I'm checking on you." That letter I have not seen since 2007. And today is the 30th of October 2016. And how appropriate to receive the opportunity from Brother Rob, who found it going through all little Clemmie's documents, her insurance and various other documents. And he found this letter and it stood out, and he said, I've got to share it with you, Brother Sean. And he did. And I felt a great peace come over me, because since yesterday I've been reliving the nightmare when I held my beloved Clemmie in my arms as she gasped her last breaths. And it was painful, really painful, to lose a little creature of God who's brought you so much joy, to see them like this. But I knew she'd gone, but it was just the end process. So we made her comfortable in our little bed in the kitchen. We lit a beautiful candle in front of her. And Clemmie, and little Poppy, who survives Clemmie now, who's lost, because Clemmie was her surrogate mum and friend, and who had a great outgoing personality, whereas little Poppy is still very nervous, and rescued from a breeder in Scotland who was cruel. The little Poppy had been locked up for 18 months. And it took 5 years for Poppy to come to us, but now she sleeps on my bed, and she's so loving. But little Poppy came and sat with me, and we just silently thanked God for the gift of this beautiful little creature who really introduced us more to God's love. What I'm sharing with you, you may not approve of, you may find I'm barking mad. Well, I guess as a Franciscan, I follow in the footsteps of Jesus and Francis, and I have a tremendous love for all the animals, and especially for those that are brought to the monastery, those that we rescue from difficult, life-threatening situations, like our hens that were abandoned, our beautiful doves that were a gift from a beautiful man in Scotland, David and his beautiful wife. And of course, slowly, we've gone down from 18 hens now to 5, where we had a loss 3 weeks ago, and then my nephew went last week, and now little Clemmie went this week, and they all went on a Saturday, so we've had the 3 losses. But still, to read that message to you has reawakened in my heart that I do believe that our little animals are a creature of God. They're a demonstration of God's love, and they come into our lives, they find us, and they bring us an enormous gift. Shamola helped me through a really bad period of low self-esteem, low self-worth, and paranoia, agoraphobia. She brought me out of myself. But when it was her time to return, when I was getting well, she said goodbye. And this is the legacy she's left me. A legacy of unforgettable memories. And I do believe that all of God's creatures are in heaven. There's a special place there for them. And when our time comes to cross over, they'll be there for us. I do believe that. It may not be the teachings of the Catholic Church, but whether it is or it isn't, it's what we believe individually. And for me, who's had the privilege of encountering such love, I just felt I needed to share it. So again, we look at beautiful Shamola as she is today in God's presence, kneeling in adoration in the presence of divine love. That love that God placed into our heart, that she brought to planet Earth to share with her masters, with Brother Rob and myself. You may not believe that animals have a soul. I do. And today is a poignant day for us, because it's the day after little Clemmie left us. And the words were like words from Clemmie as well. You took us in, you rescued us, you loved us. But an old vet told me many years ago, when Shamola was ready to be put down, they trust you for 3 things: to love them, to care for them when they need caring, and when the time is right, to let them go. 3 gifts they ask of us, and 3 gifts we honour. But we thank God for the opportunity of being able to embrace the animal kingdom, and I thank God for St. Francis of Assisi. I thank God that I'm a Franciscan monk and able to embrace God not in an ornate building and admiring all the frescoes, keep those. I'd rather be in nature, touching the soil, inhaling the essence and the sacredness of this landscape that I call the Cathedral of God, where the animals come to you. In the garden I have a little red robin called Spirit that comes to me. The doves, the hens, the fish, and now little Puppy. But I did ask Clemmy, when she crossed over, Clemmy, please find a similar soulmate for little Puppy, so she's not on her own, because she's grieving now. If you have been in a similar situation to me and you're still locked in that mindset where you're doubting and wondering, I hope, I pray, this short video has brought you some consolation. In the words of Francis, go and embrace God in all things, because in all things there you will find the mystery of divine love. Amen. Thank you.